All right, PBN family. Wow! Did you hear it hit the time has come. Remember this little thing? You watch this hammer talk? It's amazing what your hook winds up becoming. It's gonna go through the ham leg on this video, and then we're gonna see what we can see with the ham. But first, we've got to do a little reveal on this guy. When you get into this mindset of curing and things like that, you're gonna find out that mold happens. Okay? Now this is a little unnerving. This right here is a little unnerving because we got a lot of mold on the under layers, and this is because we wrapped too much. We wrapped up a little too much. Okay, on this side we got some, right? On here we got some, and this thing on the fat section is pretty rough. I've never actually had that much mold on one of these before. That's got me a little nervous. Okay, so what we'll do with that, but look how well cured this side is. That baby's ready. Anyway, what we'll do with that is, this is pretty much finished, it feels like to me. We're going to trim this and see how deep it runs, just to do a quick trim. So we have some that's running, but under the meat itself, right? This is not ideal, though it's not super uncommon either. All right, or on a menu or something to that effect, right? So to test what we've done, I cut off a nice chunk. Look at the beautiful. Oh, the smell on it is unbelievable. Okay, but what we're looking for is how gummy is the inside. All right, so the outside here is very firm. This part right here feels like maybe we could get away with a little more cure. But from here, let me get this out of the way. From here I can trim all of this mold off. You remember I told you there's probably going to be some mold. I just realized we need to talk about mold for a minute because I haven't really addressed that at all. So you guys are probably looking at this thing going, what on earth? I want to show you, there's a couple of different molds on here that you should know about. Look at that delicious little feather of meat right there. You see these guys right here. I'm gonna try to do this without blowing everything up. This white right here, this is penicillin, and having this cover your entire meat is pretty desirable. This green mold, which you can also see, you can see this green mold on the side in a greater collection, right, is not desirable. You see we also have that beautiful penicillin mold growing. Usually when you see these two guys growing together, that's a pretty good sign. Things are going okay. I mean, this white mold is fine. This white mold is a good thing. I think a lot of this green mold came off of the, unfortunately, off of the cheesecloth itself, and just kind of spread to the meat. You've seen the inside of the meat, right? I mean, obviously, look at that. You can tell things are okay. Now, let's talk about getting this stuff off. Now, you saw my method, right? For me, it was just a matter of cutting all this off, and I'm going to continue to cut all this off. I can't see any instances of sort of deadly black mold. This guy had me thinking it was black mold at first. This area here. Oh, you can't see that one. Hold on. But the black mold, when it gets real bad, gets kind of mushy. You'll feel this kind of mold. It's hard, you know. Over an extended period of time, might get down into the meat. So I told you we got to keep an eye on this, right, to make sure. So we're going to cut that out. Get rid of that. You take something like this that's most of the way cured and put it on the fridge, or in the fridge rather, it'll further dry. I'm not going to wrap it in anything. It's going to air dry in the fridge. Oh my God, it smells so good. I had to try some. Okay. So I'm going to take from, let's see, we want to cut it this way. That may wind up being a little thick. I just want to try a thin little piece. So this is cured 3 months. You remember, from raw. And look, if you're leery about it, I mean, that looks beautiful. If you're leery about it, then all you got to do is cut it thicker and fry it up. You know, if you're a little nervous about the raw. But what you got to understand about meat like this, I mean, even the color has changed dramatically, right? It's all red. And it's all red because it's been inundated with that. It's been inundated with that incredible cure that we created, right? How am I going to do this? Now, a piece like this, nice and thin, like prosciutto, you know what I mean? That's pretty good. Also, the key, when you pull yours off cure, see, all of this is usable. I'll cut this stuff up tomorrow and fry it up with my eggs. But anyway, the key to this is I'm not going to eat 2 cups of it, right? Let's use common sense here. I'm going to throw this on a plate. We're going to cure this further in the fridge. And then I'm going to trim up the rest of this meat. And we'll get that in the fridge as well. Previously cured. I probably should have got on it a few days ago. Maybe even a week ago. But whatever, you know, this is what it is. So let's put this baby on hang. Look at that beautiful color though, right? I mean, that's a ham. Okay. Boom through here, boom, boom. I'm going to the next step now and thinking about cutting it. And how we're going to cut it once it's cured. I'm overthinking, Piglet family. So you see what's going on here? That might have been a bad shot. I might need to go through here. Pardon me. Because my goal now, I'm a piercer. I'm a ham piercer, body piercer. You guys have piercings? You wouldn't believe all the piercings your intrepid commander had as a youngster. Because I thought I was a rock star, you know? I thought I was growing up to be a rock star. Alright, so I'm just feeling this hook through. Boom. And that's really it. Let's go hang it. I'm going to tell you right now, PBN family, the beauty of the Piglet with the curing operations, the hanging operations is... Oh, let me just show you how the hook is. See, it's right through. The beauty of this, man, is this is not a lot, you know? And number one, it's not a lot if you lose it. It's not a lot if it doesn't work. It's not a lot if it falls on the ground. See, I'm not going to put it here. That's a little too dangerous. This is fun because it's an execution where many skills collide, right? Skills collide here. Can you tie a knot? Do you have cordage? Where will you get a hook when there ain't nowhere to get a hook? A meat hook. Look at the color on that baby, right? Do you know how to preserve meat for a long period of time? See, because as you can see, ooh, let's get a look on the other side. So that side will be protected. You may see, I'm going to give this a day. I'm going to give her a day. It looks too nice for me to just assume that I don't want to cover it. So I may cover it. Okay? I may cover it. Either way, she's cured. She's ready. We've done it. And now it's just a waiting period. With your other ham, or your prosciutto, which is the shoulder, right? I want you to understand that my piece was little. All right, so if you've been doing this with us, yours is probably not as little as mine was. Mine was an exceptionally small roast. That was a store-bought roast too, that first one. Right? Yeah. 3 months cure, October, November, December, 30 days salted, 3 months cured, and it's ready. I mean, it would be fine to eat just like it is. It would certainly be fine to cut and slice and serve with eggs, sort of like a country ham. But yours may take longer. You're looking for that gummy feeling on the inside, okay? Now, here's the other piece of the puzzle, which gets me back to something I've been harping on, which is where your food is coming from. Coming from the supermarket, who knows what it's been through? You know, who knows how it was raised, who knows how it was washed, what it's been injected with, so it'll be nice and tender. You don't know. So you don't know what you're getting in the first place. The cleaner, the fresher product that you start with, right? That piglet was a day dead by the time I had it on cure. So you're talking about how much time does bacteria have to grow? Though it might look like a raw piece of meat and a piece of meat that's at risk for bacterial growth, when you put that cure all over it, man, it goes to work on those dangerous bacteria. So make sure you're sourcing from, you know, as best a place as possible. And this is all about connections that you need to establish anyway. You need to know where your food is coming from. Smithfield isn't a good ally to have when it comes to food production, okay? You need an ally that's down the street, down the road, you know, and they can be 2 hours away. People that Dave Jones knows, you know, they're part of my scope. They can be 15 minutes down the road. You know, there's a farmer's market close by that I can bike ride to, and there are meat suppliers there also that I communicate with, right? Again, the food web is massive, and yours should be massive too. Where the food sourcing web, right, should be massive. So I hope you're having success and fun with curing. I hope you're trying this stuff, guys. I hope you're doing it. You know, just do it. Who cares if it fails? You know, if you went out and bought, let's say you went out and bought a really nice they're not called grass-fed pigs necessarily, but you went out and bought a top-quality cut of pig like that and tried this cure project out. It got covered in mold. There was maggots growing in it, and you said, there's no way I'm eating that. What would you be out, 30 bucks? 30 bucks to realize that didn't work out. I need to change this, and this. See, we learned an incredible lesson today. We had that cheesecloth. Right off the bat, I was nervous about that cheesecloth, remember? I saw how tight that cheesecloth was, and I said, ooh, I don't know if this is going to breathe enough. It didn't breathe enough. It held moisture too long, and it over the course of 3 months, it got pretty nasty. So that's just part of that deal. That's part of that learning curve. It's okay. The meat itself is okay. That's another lesson you need to learn. You look up any good salumeria in Italy, and you'll see those pieces of meat, they're going to have some mold on them, you know? So it's all learning, it's all practice, knowing your materials, knowing your resources, knowing your environment, all of that kind of stuff, man. And it's a warm winter, too. That's another issue that we're having here. It's been a pretty warm winter. I think it's going to be 50-some degrees today again, so that promotes that sort of growth as well. You do this underground in a more stable temperature, might be even better in a root cellar, that kind of thing. But these are just old world skills, PBN family, all right? Take advantage of them. Try them. Try. Now you have the time to try. There may come a time, there probably is going to come a time where you won't have the ability to try things. You'll have to lean on the things that you're 100% sure of, okay? And it's like Dave Jones always says, right? You don't want a bunch of firsts. So if the whole thing falls apart, or if it slowly falls apart, you want to have a resume tucked in your pocket. You don't want a bunch of firsts, all right? I wish you the best. Get curing, get preserving these cuts of meat. Follow our simple directions, and become a master of this stuff. It's old world skills. It's nothing new. We're not building AI. You know what I mean? We're doing something that our ancestors likely have done forever. I'll talk to you soon, members. Thank you for everything. You guys are my heart. All right? See ya.